All right, guys, I got an awesome question from Scipio Nation. This is over at reddit.com/r/magic, a fantastic community that all of you guys should be keeping up on. He says, hey, Brian, been a fan for years. Keep it up. My question is this: how should I deal with real failure? Like when a trick goes somehow horribly wrong or a spectator does something silly I didn't predict. I always hear the advice that I should always have an out, but I have a hard time knowing what that should be and how I should come up with one. So yeah, what do I do when I mess up, really? I feel like all the advice that I've gotten in this area is pretty unhelpful. Thanks. Yeah, because all the advice you've gotten is about how not to fail. I say the opposite. Failure is the greatest gift you can get as you're learning magic. Magic is not like everything else. Magic is like a standalone Groundhog Day environment. For 1 hour, no matter where you are, it's the same stage and the same audience and the same people, and you're doing the same routines. Now, yes, there's variables. Maybe there's more drunk people this time. Maybe there's a heckler that time. Maybe there's something too dumb to understand the instructions. But once it's over, in that moment, it will feel terrible. You're gonna feel awkward, anxious. You're gonna wish you knew how to talk your way out of it. But 3 days later, you're gonna be driving down the road and realize, that's what I should have said to that guy. And you're gonna remember that answer, and you're gonna wait for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then 5 years later, some heckler is gonna say the exact same thing he said before, and you're gonna nail him right there on the spot. And it won't be because you're particularly clever, it won't be because you're fast on your feet, it'll be because you recognized that failure is a gift, and you're prepared for the next time it comes around. Second of all, consider the idea that there is no failure. There's only outcomes. You're gonna say and do a certain set of things, and you're gonna get a set of outcomes. 99% of the time, they're gonna be what you hope for, but that 1% of the time that it's not, that doesn't mean it's wrong or it failed. It means that now you have to have a second branch for where you go. I do this mind reading effect called simpatico. Nothing is set up ahead of time. I have mere seconds to pick the right volunteers, get them on stage, and hope that the mind reading trick works because they're following instructions appropriately. 1 time out of 100. For years and years and years, I turn around the 2 images and they flat out do not match. Now keep in mind, for 8 minutes, I've taken people through an important set of processes to get to the big reveal of will their 2 images match. I remember the fact that nobody knows the intended ending of the routine. So when I get to that last part and I turn it around and the images don't match, with utmost confidence I say, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I don't believe in ESP. Let's hear it for both of our volunteers. They were fantastic. ESP is total joke. It's garbage, am I right? Get out of here. Oh my God, those didn't match at all. So anyway, how many of you guys like books? And you go on to the next thing. So for 99% of the people, it's a fantastic, mind-blowing extravaganza of true demonstration of mentalism. And for 1% of the audience, it's a funny piece of performance art. You could do the same thing, whether it's a card trick, anything. Imagine you're halfway through a card trick and it's definitely screwed up. You're the only one who knows it. When you realize everything's gone off the rails, that's when you smile and say, this is perfect. I want to flash freeze everything just the way it is. You remember everything that happened. You picked a card, you did this. I flipped one over. You remember which card I flipped over. We're gonna get back to this. And then you go into another routine. And of course, you never get back to it. You never reference it. They don't know and they don't care. This is a trick used by outside talkers at the carnivals for years and years. Somebody out front would hold up a dollar bill, borrow a dollar bill, act like he's about to do a magic trick, keep getting farther and farther through the process until finally he had 30 or 40 people. By the time 30 or 40 people are there, they don't even know what they're there for or where this is headed. It turns out where it's headed is now that he has 40 people, he tells people what's inside and how the trick is gonna end inside the booth. He doesn't even do a trick. He just walks everybody in, collects all their money, does the sideshow show. Nobody feels gypped. Everybody has a good time. You have that power as long as you remember that you're the one in control and you get to define success after the fact. That was a great question, Scipio Nation. Hope that helped. And to the rest of our nation of rogue scammers, you can hit me up with your questions at scamnationshow@gmail.com. We'll see you next time.